Hopefully we are. Yeah, we are. Right. Should be quite interesting, hopefully. Right. Some people joining in, I'll be with you in 1 second. Just gotta make sure everything's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Right, here we go, boys and girls, or whatever you classify as, gender neutral or whatever. But let's get this started. Right, welcome one and all back for Formula. I nearly said Formula Experience. Then that's not a good start, is it? On my return, back for Formula Performance, also known as FP, on a Tuesday night at 8 PM. You're joined by the one, the only, the lovely, the fantastic, the best PSGL champion you've ever had in Lordy-MK. And I hope everybody's alright, and I hope everybody's ready for a good race. I'm just going to make a few last preparations, and hopefully everything should get underway soon. Right, welcome back. Now all the preparations are made. Just been having a chat with Greeny LFC, obviously the admin of this league this season. Me and Greeny, we go way back. We go back about 2017 Formula 1, where we used to race together. We used to be teammates in the Sauber. Do you remember that ugly Sauber? You know, the green and blue, not green, gold and blue, sorry, that disgusting, sends shivers down my spine even to this day. But we are about to get underway. It is the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone. We won't be having 2 Silverstone races like in real life. It will only be just the one, and it'll only be this week. And we are about to get ready as we enter the lobby right now. Hopefully everyone has been practicing a bit here and there. I know people have had their equal leagues to get a bit of experience around this track, but obviously it's a different beast, these Formula Performance cars. You go from having a stable piece of machinery to having a machinery that either understeers, oversteers, or has no grip through the corners. So it's going to be a challenge, especially for the guys in the Haas and the Williams. Those cars, I've driven them personally for Formula Performance sort of, spec, and they are awful, especially the Haas. The Williams, it's slow, but it's got kind of a nice balance to it. The Haas is a boat. It is just disgusting. I would not want to be driving that around a high-speed circuit like this anyway. You need all the downforce you can get, but there are unlucky 4 that have to drive that this evening. I believe Little Blocks is one of them in the Williams, so let's see what he can do. Hopefully he can get into the top 10. I doubt it though, because it is going to be very difficult in that piece of machinery. I'm not too sure on the standings. I'll have to get updated as Nano Bacon leaves the session. Hopefully there's no issues and complications there with everybody. But I'll have to get the standings from Greeny. Hopefully he can send it me while he's racing. If not, obviously I'm not in the Discord chat, so I cannot see. I do need to actually add myself back. That's why I'm struggling here. But I do believe there are issues in the lobby. As you see the guys on the left hand side, I'll give you a bit of a rundown before we leave the lobby, as there obviously is complications. We have C-Type Demon in the Mercedes. Ash Best, I believe that's in the Haas. I'm just trying to, a bit far away from the TV, so I'm getting old now. I'm 20, trying to see the colours from here. We've got Tom AJ, I believe is that a racing point for Tom AJ? Yeah, racing point for Tom AJ. Little Blocks in an Alfa Romeo, I believe. I thought he was in the Williams tonight, but clearly not. We've got Bugatti in an Alfa Romeo. We've got Nano Bacon in the Red Bull. We've got Sam T in the McLaren. Greeny out of C, I believe that is. Sorry, Ash Best is in the Williams with Greeny and CC in the Haas, and we've got N Rafa, I believe a new face in PSGL Performance in the Williams. We've also got 3 gloves in, I believe that is the Renault. My eyes do not deceive me. Then we've got IRL Leon as the server completely crashes, so that is the worst case scenario as I was running through the grid. Okay, alright, so we've got a few issues here. Don't know what's happening, whether it's the game or whether it's individuals struggling to get into the session. So I will message Greeny, see what's going on, try and keep you guys as updated as possible. But at the moment we seem to be struggling with making a lobby. Hopefully it's not maintenance or anything like that from Codemaster's side of things, and then we can really get underway racing. We'll just see a few comments in the chat. Now, Red Matt, you've clearly not tuned into me for the entirety of the PSGL F2 season on the last game, because my PS4 has been alive since 2014. I think even 2013, so it is the old spec PS4, so yes, it does have a tendency to fucking die. So, forgive, I do apologise on behalf of my machinery, but I will not be spending the extra dollars to get a new one, so you're going to have to live with it, unfortunately. Hypes says, good evening, Ash Best is my prediction for the win. That's optimistic, but it's nice to see some support for Ash Best. Red Matt, esports ready. If I was good enough to be in esports, I definitely would not be running this machinery. It is the oldest spec in the book. Hopefully the PS5 can hurry up and come out so I can have a PlayStation that doesn't sound like an Apache helicopter in the background. So hopefully it doesn't blow up halfway through the stream and you guys can still enjoy my lovely voice, the husky Burton tone, if you don't know where I'm from, for an hour and a bit, hour and a half. Probably going to be a bit longer now. I've got all these complications, so lucky you guys. An extra 15-20 minutes for me, gotta love it. But yeah, as we enter the lobby, we'll try and run through anybody who we haven't already. Just trying to look. Olich is in this league in the Red Bull Racing as well. Don't think we mentioned him before. Tom AJ mentioned him. Yes, got Dre Bay in the Renault. Ash Best in the Williams went through that. C-Type Demon Mercedes. McLaren for AMS. Seems to be struggling a lot this game. Does AMS? You know, this man was in F3 last season, battling the likes of me. No, he wasn't. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was in F3 last season. Dropped to F4 halfway through the finale of 2019. Struggling in that game as well, but I think he's lost that passion for the game, as a lot of drivers do. You know, this game, in my opinion, is a lot better than the last game, especially drivability wise. I do feel a bit more comfortable personally, but I am on a pad, and naturally the pad is you know, worse than the wheel on this game, which is unfortunate for someone like me. But you know, I think if I was spending 200 plus quid on a wheel, I'd want that bit of kit to be a bit better than obviously the 30 quid pad that you get with the PlayStation. But regardless, we've got some quick pad users in a couple of the leagues. Bugatti is one of them in F3 currently this season. Did struggle last time out in F3. Last night I believe the wet Silverstone was quite treacherous out there. So it's going to be difficult for him in the Alfa Romeo. I think he was earlier. I don't know if that is the right car selection. I've completely lost my bearings. Where is he? Oh, there we go. Right on mark. Yeah, Alfa Romeo. That man today, and Lickle blocks with the Alfa Romeo as well. You know, rumours have been telling me about Lickle. Apparently he's considering, if his wheel plays up, retirement. So he's only a young lad. He's 16, I believe. So, you know, retirement for Lickle is not something I'd ever expect from a man so young. But if your time's up, your time's up, and if he's feeling it, he's feeling it. So that's maybe one to watch out for. Maybe he needs a bit of a spark and inspiration, a big bang to really get his drive back into this game. As we see, Red Matt, you're really loving the chat. You're really lighting it up. It's nice to see with these paragraphs. That's alright, mate. You didn't come across rude. Don't worry about it. I do agree, hyped. I do agree. But Codemasters are lazy. I'd also say Codemasters need to implement the new tracks on the changed calendar for this season, like Mugello, Imola, you know, tracks like that. They need to implement them, but they're not going to do that because they're lazy. So, you know, they've got their money now. Everybody's paid their money. Are they going to update the game? Of course they're not. A few glitches and bugs here and there. You know, the overtake glitch where you're stuck in overtake for the entire race is awful. If anybody gets that this evening, you know, I apologise. I know it's not my fault, but I do apologise because that is just a home wrecker. That is that glitch. As we will get everything sorted. We'll do fitted. We'll do fitted for the time being. Hopefully someone will get out there very quick. I'm seeing a lot of softs. We've got Nano Bacon on the mediums. We've got some people on intermediates, but is it wet enough? From this cam, it doesn't look wet enough at all. But we'll see what the drivers opt for. I think somebody did go for the intermediate for a split second, but I think guys were wanting to get the setups on and get out there very quick because it looks like this qualifying session is going to be over very quickly if it continues raining like this. So we are going to see who gets out first. Hopefully it's a guy who hopefully it's one of the drivers that are normally at the back of the grid in FP, because I want to see these guys do a bit better, you know, get out there and really take it to the front runners, because you know every league has their front runner, and it's going to be difficult for them guys really to challenge the guys at the front, especially if they struggle anyway on this game. So it'd be nice to see somebody who's not rarely up there, you know, maybe somebody in like the mid sort of pack, maybe a Racing Point. I know Tom AJ in the past has been up there, but definitely not in this game. So maybe someone like him, or maybe C-Tyres Demon could surprise us by actually qualifying, which would be very nice to see a lap from C-Tyres Demon. I would go on board just to see. But it does look treacherous out there on these soft tyres, and if you can get a lap in, I think that's good enough. As we watch Ash Best really struggle out there in the Williams, just on the outlap. He's got to get a lot of temperature in them softs. They're very easy to overheat in the dry, but I imagine in the wet conditions they're going to be stone cold. So you just got to get some weaving going on, Ash. Get some, especially heat into the front tyres around here. When you get some heat into the front tyres, you really have that grip for the middle sector. But it is struggling. He is struggling, I should say, as we come down the back straight into Stowe. We'll stay on board with Ash for the first lap. Has everybody involved in the stream is eagerly anticipating some quick lap times. Hopefully it doesn't rain too hard. I hope it stays these mixed conditions. You know, it's treacherous, but you can still go out there in the dries. As Ash for the last corner is twitching all over the place, but we're going to stay on board with him as he takes us around a lap of Silverstone. Entering turn 1 now should be flat. He stays in 7th gear and does turn 2 very nicely as well. Went to turn 3, normally a 3rd or 2nd gear corner for myself, and then into a 1st or 2nd gear corner. I'm not too sure how it is in these conditions, especially in that Williams, but Ash seems very tentative on the throttle, really trying not to hesitate too much while putting the power down, but also really trying to not exceed track limits and get the most out of this Williams. A lot of curb on entry. I think that's actually cost him. Really couldn't nail the apex there as he finishes the first sector. Obviously purple, you know, he's going to be purple. Oh, he nearly lights the rear of the car up on exit as he comes to the old pit start finish straight into Cobbs. We're just going to see, does he opt for 8th gear? He does shift down and then down again to 6th, so not a lot of downforce in this Williams as he really struggles through Maggots and Beckett's. Now, just want to see his line. I think he's lucky not to get invalidated there, as he now gone to the back straight as he ties Demon and retires once again from a qualifying session. It's not been too bad of a lap. It's very neat and tidy from Ashbeth so far as he comes down the back straight into Stoke. He opts for 5th gear. Just want to see, he did seem to nail the apex. You've got to be careful on the exit though, because they've really tightened the exceeding track limits on that corner so far, so you just got to be careful not to run wide or you will obviously suffer the consequences. But Ash is going to finish the lap. Oh, very tempted. He's going to go wide the last corner, but it's a 1:35.8. I definitely think that'll be beaten by the likes of I think CC's the first one across the line. Is he going to beat that straight away? He is. So 1:35.2, and then Greeny LFC, his teammate, also in the Haas with that Gunda white helmet. Oh, and Greeny LFC, Greeny's round. Greeny is round to see another drive across the line. I think it was Dre Bay who went P3 as Game Freaker takes pole position, and then who else just crossed the line? I think it was oh no, Greeny just crossed the line and set a lap. That's fine. Now we're going to go on board with Sam T in the McLaren, as I think Neon's opted for. Oh, Sam T has a bit of a moment coming out of Stoke corner there. I just want to see people's lines. I think Sam T's really struggling to carry the speed for a few corners so far. As I see Tom AJ go P3, he's struggling for the last corner, but is it going to be pole for Sam T? No, it's 2nd place. Not a bad showing from that man right there. As we're going to see N Rafa, who said a purple first sector. Sorry, purple middle sector by the looks of it. So we are going to see where it places this man right here. I don't know who he's been dragged in for, who normally is in this Williams spot. I think Louis was on the cards to replace a driver in this Williams as well, because the grid is very quick this season compared to other seasons' FP grids, as Rafa looks so neat and tidy. Where's this going to put him? It's going to put him on pole. He's put it on pole in a Williams. That is sensational. That is genuinely sensational. I think the only man who's going to challenge will be Nano Bacon, who takes cops in 8th gear flat. So you can really see the difference in downforce between Maggots, the difference in downforce between the Red Bull and the Williams. Obviously watching Ashbest, he went to 6th through there, but Nana Bacon has the experience and obviously has the downforce to really ring that Red Bull to the absolute limit, as Leon Bentley has finally joined the session. Hopefully he does have hands, because there's a hand glitch as well where you don't have any, so hopefully he does, so he can set a good lap time. As we're going to see Nana Bacon, very nice through the final chicane. And he will come across the line, keeps the traction down. This should be pole position, it looks like it, and only by a 10th, but it's pole position for Nano Bacon, which is a brilliant start to this session right here. We've got a lot of people in the pit lane that haven't set a lap. I think CC Brain, I don't know if he's going for 2 laps or what, but he's pulled into the garage. Sorry, Dre Bay going for 2 laps or what, but he's out there again. Is he trying to go faster on the same set of soft tyres? Maybe it's a wet race. He is 2.4 down, so I doubt that he's on a lap. But he has done 2 laps on them soft tyres, so very interesting. We're going to see some more drivers. Obviously these guys up front just finishing off their lap, so should be coming into the pit lane for a new set of rubber. As everybody else seems stationary at the moment, so maybe monitoring the conditions. It might get drier as the session carries on. We obviously don't know from our position here. All the drivers have the information, as we do see Dino and Olic out on track 20th and 19th at the moment, but a lot of drivers, you know, 8 drivers not set a lap time yet, which is quite worrying, especially if the track's going to get wetter. I thought you'd get out there quite quickly and post some competitive lap times, but left it a bit late. The rain does seem, sorry, the precipitation, I'm going to sound a bit smart, the precipitation, the deluge, all these words, the deluge out on track is really, you know, kind of light, so it's not really hampering the drivers too much. I imagine the tyres are the biggest struggle, the tyre temps, ready to get the tyres up to temperature, and then from there try and carry the heat throughout the entire lap. Welcome to 12 people who are joining us tonight. and 20 comments. I will check the comments now actually before this man Olic is out on track. I'm going to get rid of the fitted tyres just so we have a bit more room to play with. Obviously the hood does take up a lot of room and I don't want the vision to be too impaired, so strange condition. I do agree with Matt, I do agree. Whoopverest. Nice seeing you in the chat. It will be last lap to start a lap. Can get pole. It's drying up. So we've had confirmation it is drying up. Come on, Amanda. Says Flying Foam. Flying Foam, a veteran of the PSGL leagues. And it's nice to see Flying Foam still about, lingering in the background. As we're going to go back to the action, as we've seen Anna Bacon, I believe the first of the guys coming out of the pit lane to start his flying lap. Hopefully he can take us through a nice comfortable lap as he sets purple in the first sector. So he's really, sorry, it's Olic, not Nana Bacon, so I do apologise, it's Olic, who actually goes purple in sector 1 and looks very comfortable in this Red Bull. So maybe Olic, another one of Greeny LFC's friends who does run the league, obviously managed to get himself into FP. So yeah, he's flat. Look at that. It's too easy. It's drying up, as Whoop VRS was indicating to us. Olic really close to track limits there. He's not hitting every apex. It's not the smoothest Maggots and Beckettson village I've seen, but he's really giving it some beans. And Olic now looking the fastest man on track. He's set a purple middle sector. I don't know where it will put him in retrospect to everybody else, but at the moment he is the fastest man on track, and that Red Bull looks really nice to drive so far. I think if the conditions stay like this, I think the Red Bull would be probably my favourite to be on pole. As you see Olic cross the line, it's got to be pole position. It's on 1:27.2, so yes, it is pole position as Olic, what's he doing? He's I think that's an embarrassing moment that I've caught on camera. I don't think Olic has realised that you can't reverse in an official league race, so don't know what he's doing there, but we're going to go on board with Dino in the Ferrari, the Scuderia. I believe the Scuderia is still the second best car on the game, so I'm not too sure why. In real life it is dreadful, but it is a nice looking car though. Just look at it, it is beautiful. You can't deny, even if you're not a Ferrari fan, that car is stunning. I think there's been better iterations of it, but you can't deny that. Oh, the crimson red is just par excellence. It's fantastic. Anyway, enough of me jizzing over the delivery of the Ferrari. We should be spectating Dino as he's really off and on the throttle. You know, really trying to find the grip levels out there. You see the glowing brake ducts through, obviously, the tyres there. Sorry, the tyre rims there. The alloys. There you go. Got the word in the end. But Dino, the number 94, custom numbers now a thing in this game. Can't believe that wasn't priority to the customization in PSGL F1. But you can change your gloves. So yeah, as a consolation, you could change your gloves, but not your number. Very interesting indeed. As you see Dino from Maggots and Beckett, he looks a lot smoother. Dino, he has improved as a driver. This game, I believe. Anyway, I think he's a lot smoother. He doesn't seem to have a lot of stabs at the corners. He's very smooth. He's in and out of the corners. He's not, turning left, right, and centre, really trying to get it in. Maybe a bit hot through the chicane there as he approaches the final corner. But it's a solid lap from Dino. This may be pole position in the Ferrari as Dino goes P3, so not a bad lap at all. 0.2 of a second in that lap. No, 1/10 of a second in that lap, and he's pole, so very, very impressive. Obviously, the likes of Sam T and Little Blocks setting impressive lap times as well. We're just going to go down just to see where other people are. We've got AMS on a lap, Bugatti on a lap. Leon has just rejoined, so we go back onto AMS, who is setting a purple middle sector as well. So this track's really, really developing and getting quicker and quicker by the second. These lap times not too shabby at the moment. These cars really gripping around there. As you see AMS lock the left front coming into the chicane and across the line for AMS. Is it going to be a good position for him? It's P5, not too bad for AMS, but I think he would have opted for a bit better, as I think Bugatti will be the last person to go on board with before he comes into the pit lane, and then the second wave or third wave of lap time start coming out. I'm going to put the tyres on just to see how many laps people are doing. as Bugatti is giving it some absolute beans. He's missed the apex though, coming into Stowe as he enters 6th gear. Let's see how the chicane is, if he can get it in. He's got it into the apex, tucked it nicely. Can he get the traction? Yeah, beautiful. Not a lot. Oh, I'd say that in the second phase of the corner. He gets oversteer and he's going to be disappointed with that lap time. Obviously, everybody very, very, very close. The top 10, the top 9 separated by 0.3 of a second, 0.2 of a second, really. So that's very, very impressive from these guys. It's just going to get quicker and quicker, like I said earlier. So it's going to be a grand slam shootout. I think everybody who has a brain, I should say, everybody who has a brain should be pitting in the next 2 minutes and coming in, getting the last set of boots on and going out for that last lap dash to the line to get pole position. It's really heating up here at Silverstone. We've got somebody out on an out lap. So we've got Slash in the AlphaTauri, who's decided he doesn't want to be held up by anybody else. He doesn't want the cluster of everybody trying to get a lap in the latest. He wants to get it done now. So, not too sure how I feel about that, mate. I think you should get around the track pretty quickly. I think, personally, I'd get around the track very quick, very speedy, get back in the pit lane and get a new set of softs on, because you're going to compromise yourself massively. Especially if the track's drying and getting warmer and the heat's getting into the tyres better, you're just going to compromise yourself dramatically when everybody sets that lap. You could put in the perfect lap, but if the conditions aren't up to snuff, you are going to suffer in the long run. You're going to be tenths, and by the looks of it, tenths of a second really do come into clutch around Silverstone. Everybody seems very, very close around here. As you see somebody else, I think that's Tom AJ on an out lap as well. And we've got a few guys starting on medium tyres, which is a very interesting strategy call. So they want to start on the medium tyres. The strategy, I should say, for anyone out there who hasn't done Silverstone yet, is medium soft or soft medium. So the hards shouldn't come into play ever, really. They're an awful tyre around this track. I believe in F5 some drivers pitted earlier on because there was an early safety car, and then people went in the hards and tried to take the hards to the end, but then there was a late safety car and it was pointless. So a lot of drama. I think it was F5, don't quote me on that, I believe so. But the hards, you don't really want to be going anywhere near them, only unless you get damage on lap 1. Try and take them to the end, but that is obviously worst case scenario. Anyway, regardless, we are going to watch Slash on a lap. And welcome to the 15 viewers. I know some of you are sticking around. Hello to the new viewers. It's Lordy-MK back, or Lordy Boy, as some people know me as. We are back in the com seat. But yeah, we are going to go on board with Slash, who is obviously purple in the first sector. So it's a very, very solid first sector. Seems a bit slow coming up to Cops. I don't know. Traction is obviously very difficult through that corner there. But you've really got to get the traction down, and you've really got to get the as the rear snaps on Slash, and that's the end of his qualifying. So it's gone from bad to worse for Slash. He's had a kink of oversteer through Cop's corner, which is very surprising, especially with the conditions obviously drying up as they are. He's taken a lot of curb on entry and really, really compromised himself, and obviously the lap's over. So poor old Slash is, I believe, out of this now. We're going to go to the likes of 3 Gloves. Let's see where he can put his Renault on the mediums. It's going to be very interesting to see. I don't think the medium is the right call, but we will see. 3 Gloves goes 10th, so not too bad. I think he's going to get beaten by a lot of drivers. So far we've got Leon coming to the final sector as well. We've got Duo Finn in the first sector on a lap. We've got Tom AJ on a lap as well. So we've got a lot of drivers on a lap. I think Leon was the closest, but he's actually backed out and let Tom go through. So we're going to go on board with Tom as I cycle through as quickly as possible. In the Racing Point, very good car around this track, so Tom really should be putting this on pole. Let's see where he can go. Oh, a lot of curb there, and he's really compromised his speed, but it should be pole, and it is pole. Only just though, look at the time. Sam T, oh, very, very close. Duo Finn, Leon was on a lap, but I think Duo Finn will be the next one to cross the line as Duo Finn actually goes off the track and wide. Hopefully he's got a bit more left in the tank to try and challenge, but it's heating up here at Silverstone now. The times are coming through thick and fast. I'm just trying to scan through just to see where people are out on laps. We've got 3 Gloves going for another lap. He's 3/10 down through the middle sector though, so not very good from him. Who are we going to go on board with? Slash is going to go for another lap, a set of soft tyres. He's really close to the end of the lap. What about the likes of these guys? Right, So we're going to stay on board with Slash East. 4 tenths up in the middle sector. Is this going to be pole? It's 3 goods retires from the session. Slash, who's unable to get the lap in the first time, but he's had another go. He's had the fuel and he's committed himself to 2 qualifying laps on this set of softs. It's a very, very good last sector from the looks of it. Is it going to be pole position for Slash? It's pole position with a 25.3. That's fantastic from Slash as we scan through the field trying to find the next man across the line. It's going to be Greeny LFC in centre position as Neon goes second. Greeny LFC across the line. It's 5th for Greeny LFC. The qualifying is heating up like mad. There's drivers coming through thick and fast. We've got Game Freaker here, and Game Freaker goes second position with a fantastic lap of a 125.4. We've got Lickle Blocks. He's purple in the middle sector. We're going to stay on board with Lickle for the time being. May have got some slipstream from the Red Bull as he comes through Stoke Corner. Hits the apex beautifully. The man who said he's going to retire, the man who doesn't want F1 anymore, comes through the final chicane. May have turned it a bit too early. He's got to get the power down nice and early. Lovely double upshift as he comes through the final corner here. He's 7th at the moment, but Lickle Blocks goes pole position. It's fantastic from Lickle. We've got Sam T going purple in the middle sector though. Can Sam T snatch pole position from this man right here? We've got AMS setting a lap and going 8th position, I believe. We've got, where Sam T's actually invalidated and had to peel off. Who else is out on a lap? I think Bugatti is starting another lap. No, he has finished as well. So is that the end of qualifying? A bit of an anticlimactic ending with Sam T there. He was purple and about to take pole, I do believe. But Lickle Blocks, the man who was going to retire, is P1, Sebastian P1. Fantastic performance from Lickle Blocks and Slash. It took him 2 stabs, but you know he did get the job done and puts his 2nd place. My throat really was not used to that after having a couple of weeks off commentary. Oh bloody hell. Hopefully nobody's abused the sort of glitch where you can completely qualify and lap even after the lights have gone out. I don't think they have, and that will remain our top 20 for this evening. Slash P2, fantastic result from him, even though he had 2 stabs. It was quite unlucky through cops, but I think he'd be thankful that he had enough time to get out there. But look at that grid. Wow, the top 5 separated by 3 tenths of a second. That's what you want to see. The top 3 separated by 1.5 tenths, and I will run you through the top 10. They're all on softs. And the order goes like this. We've got Lickle Blocks in P1. Fantastic lap from him. Really ringed every ounce of the Alpha through the lap. Brilliant. With P2, we've got Slash in the Alpha Tauri. We've got Game Freaker 3rd in the Racing Point. We've got Neon in the Ferrari in P4. We've got Dino in the Ferrari in P5. In 6th, we've got Tom AJ in the Racing Point. We've got Greeny 7th. Sam T 8th. 9th, we've got AMS. And rounding out the top 10, we've got Rafa. So Rafa may be a bit disappointed he couldn't have dropped down because he was 1 millisecond in front of Bugatti, who will obviously have fresh tyres and will be starting, I believe, on the medium tyre, maybe on the softs. You may want that fresh soft compound just to compete with the guys at the front. But wow, as a last lap shootout, you don't normally get that much action, and that is just brilliant. It's nice to see these guys really putting a lot of effort and a lot of commitment into this league, and blinding lap from Slash and Lickle Block. So very good from these guys. I'm just going to give my throat a chance to recover while we start the race. Hopefully there's no complications as we are waiting for players. If there is complications, which is taking quite a while, session starts. Right, that's brilliant. No complications there then. a lot of comments coming through. Hamilton P20, I don't know, crazy scenes. Shame I couldn't get a chance to race tonight. Think there is going to be a lot of corner cut penalties. I do agree. Corner cut penalties, not any space in the comms booth. Red Matt, the thing is there is space in the comms booth, but I'm a very broad person, so there might not be a lot of spec. No, I'm joking. Obviously, you've got to discuss with the admin in the comms booth. It's not up to me who gets to join me on comms. Obviously, if you talk to either Greeny or AMS about doing comms with me, maybe one day I'll happily accept, and you can come and join me for one race back in the comms. So yeah, that's something to take it with the admins. Lordy, she did the horse racing. Yeah, do agree, Fro. This commentary with the big eyes from Hyped. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's good or bad. Maybe it's kind of a mixture of both. It's kind of like always, he shouts a bit, but he's alright, you know what I mean? Maybe a Crofty sort of type, fathead, you know what I'm saying? No, don't compare him to Crofty. I don't like Crofty. I prefer James, you know, like the old commentator from like the mid 2000s, like James and then Martin. That was my favourite commentary duo. Anyway, carrying on, just looking for a few comments as everybody lines up. We'll get the telemetry and everything up first, actually, just to see what people are running, and I think that says a lot really already. A lot of people opting for the medium compound. We've got Olich and we've got Drebe on the softs outside the top 10, which is interesting. I'm not saying it's not going to work. There could be carnage on lap 1. The softs maybe there's tired to start on, but I'm not too sure. I'm going to hold off. I'm going to hold fire on my comments. Yeah, I'll do a few predictions before the lights go out, but I'm just going to hold fire. Nah, you're very good at that. Thank you, Hype. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, mate. I've been doing it for a while now, so if I wasn't at least decent, I think I'd be shooting. Well, anyway, back to the race. Game face on. Everybody who's watching tonight, put in the comments who you think's going to win. I would do top 3, but that's a lot of typing for you guys, and that's a lot of reading from me, and I don't think me reading all that's going to be too healthy. So put your predictions in now for P1. I just want P1, and let's see how this race goes. Who am I? I'll do a top 3 because it's easier for me to discuss. I think Lickle. Oh, in no particular order. I think Lickle. I think Game Freaker, and I think an outside bet. You know, I think Sam T. I think Sam T had some good pace. But anyway, enough of the predictions. It's time for the Grand Prix at Silverstone. Or is it the 70th anniversary Grand Prix? We do not know. I can't see the red lights, but now I can from Nickelblox's angle. It's 5 red lights here at Silverstone, and it's lights out, and away we go. Decent start from Nickelblox. I'm seeing a lot of drivers in the background spread out. Is anybody going to make contact into turn 1? But look at that Game Freaker from 3rd to 1st. Fantastic. Brilliant start from that man. We're seeing the Alfa Romeo and Alfa Tauri coming very close as we see crashes in the first couple of corners already. Hopefully everybody's okay. Getting through and there's no wing damage. There's a lot of people dropping down. Neon from 4th has dropped down as well, so it must have been through turn 1. If my voice breaks again, I do apologise. But here we go now, going to scroll down the grid. We've got a lot of drivers going side by side, really trying to get the moves done. And AMS on his teammate, on Sam T, down the inside goes AMS for P9. That is fantastic move to get ahead of his teammate, which will be crucial. And round the outside goes Drebe in the Renault. Can he make a move stick on Sam T? He's going to have good traction. Look at this, Drebe may go around the outside even before Cop. Sam T is all over the place. I don't know what's up with that McLaren. I think he has end plate damage. He does have end plate damage. He's going 2 abreast, 3 abreast through Cop's corner. People are going, oh my god, it's hectic all over the place. And CC Payne into Maggots is going to go down the inside of Sam T as well. And we've got the likes of Ash Best overtaking Sam T. There's carnage absolutely everywhere. Sam T having to move out of the way of everyone on the circuit at the moment. And my man, my prediction for top 3 is already slumped to a measly P16 and looks to be pitting this lap. We're going to see the losers out of here. Matt Romano doing okay. I think, does Neon have any sort of damage? I think he has left end plate damage, so unfortunately for no, he doesn't. So Neon has no damage. He's just had a spin. That is okay for Neon. He can make a good recovery. As we've seen, Sam T in the pit lane as Game Freaker is going to set the fastest lap of the race, which is pretty obvious. As I collect my thoughts, as DRS has apparently enabled this lap. That is wrong. DRS has not enabled this lap. As we are going to see these guys hopefully calm down for the moment, just so I can get my breath back, as Ash Best is ghosted, but I believe isn't ghosted, as we see the likes of 3 Gloves ghosted as well. So hopefully these guys are actually here and can sort themselves out, as we see the likes of Dino in P6 all over the place. Obviously the timing screens are an absolute mess, so try not to concentrate too much on the timing screens. I don't think, can I actually turn them off? I'm not too sure, as we will put on position changes just for you guys to see, you know, what's going on, who's where and whatever. As we see Dino actually in P3, so Slash has gone down to P4 and Dino is looking very fast. See, Dino might be on for a race win here. He's in a Ferrari, he's got the kit, he's got the car underneath him, and he's looking very, very good round Silverstone. Dino, he's never normally in these positions, you know, he's normally in a bit worse car, but he's really, really putting the performance to these guys up front. We've got Lickleblox, who's obviously an FP champion, so Lickleblox has got all the experience in the world. We've got Woodvrest in Game Freaker, who is an absolute beast. Can I just make that? I've raced him for a long time, and he's a beast. I believe he was on about retiring, but obviously he's come back. He wanted a bit more. You know, it's like an addiction, league racing. You can't just put it down. You got to have a nibble. But once you have that nibble, that's it. Game over. You're coming straight back. And it's brilliant to see the likes of Game Freaker back in the racing books. There's also Greeny, who's had a fantastic start as well, up 2 positions from 7th in 5th, and the Haas as well. That's no small feat. I just want to give credit to these guys like Rafa and Greeny, who are in these cars. You know, the Haas and the Williams, if you've never driven them personally with the FP spec, they are god-awful, disgusting, they are spawns of Satan, they are horrific. So you never want to race them again, as Dino actually goes a bit wide as we finish the first sector. And he may come under attack from Slash, as DRS is enabled this lap, so they are correct about that. Hopefully the game has sorted itself out and we can really, you know, get into the racing now, as some drivers have a second gap. We've got Bugatti, who's actually bridged a second to AMS, and Bugatti is on the medium tyres, so Bugatti having a stellar race. Hopefully he didn't pick up a warning for going wide at Cops, but let's see. He's looking very quick on these mediums. Being a pad user and all that, as Dino picks up a penalty already. Oh no, Dino, I was praising you for getting so high up the grid, as we are going to change to the tyres just to see where people are. Will there be any moves further up? I don't think so. 3 Gloves catching his teammate Drebe on the medium tyres. Dre obviously on the soft, so he might need to move out of the way for 3 Gloves here, because 3 Gloves looks the more feisty of the two, which is quite surprising, because the softs obviously are very, very good around here, and they normally last about 6 to 8 laps, I'd say, before they stop dropping off in performance. So these medium runners shouldn't really be keeping too closely on the soft runners, especially through the corners, but obviously slipstream, DRS and all that lovely malarkey that happens in real life obviously, you know, coincides with the game. And at the moment it's providing us with some very entertaining sort of close racing, as we see Leon is getting mugged by Nano Bacon. That is brave if he goes on the outside there. Oh my god, Nano Bacon in the Red Bull on the sister team AlphaTauri. We're going to stay on board with him as Leon goes very, very defensive, but Nano Bacon's going to do the cutback. He's going to do another switchback. Go on, Nano. Go on, mug him off. Go on. Good lad, good lad. Get some overtake going, and he's going to go around the outside. Leon's going to deploy some overtake, I think, to try and keep, but he's not got enough compared to Nano Bacon. Nano Bacon is going to stick it on the inside. Is Leon really going to hold it around the outside there? He's going to pick up a penalty, or a warning, I should say. But this is fantastic racing between the two here. Is Nano Bacon going to keep it in for Marix and Beckett's? No. Thinks better of it and relaxes himself and calms down. But will Nano have another jab at him down the straight? Actually, I think Leon might go on the attack on Ash Best down the straight, who's really struggling in that Williams, as we're going to go on board with Tom, who's all over the back of Greeny. So hopefully we can see some more action further at the front. I want to see these guys really get into each other. You know, I don't want to see this, oh, let's sit behind and slipstream and blah blah blah. But no, I don't want to see that. I want to see you get in and do some absolute bits on these guys, because I think Bugatti's going to be the man to really go for it. Look at him, he's got so much overspeed. He's not going to go on the inside though. Not going to go on the inside, he's going to relax. He's going to breathe, and he's going to bide his time. He's turned in a bit early, I think, coming onto the back straight. But he is going to deploy a lot of ERS, and he's going to deploy he's going to deploy DRS, and he's going to go for it. He's going to go for it on the inside of Rafa. He's going to lock that front left though, as Rafa defends it well. Very, very nice from Rafa. He could have turned in, which would have been the wrong decision, but he's left a lot of respect left for Bugatti there on the inside, and Bugatti's going to have to have another go, have another jab at the moment, as we've got 3 Gloves on the back of Drebe. So just trying to scan through, so we've got these 3 again. Ash Best really holding these guys up, and I don't think it's Leon is the slow one, as Nano may have another look at Magnus and Beckett. This is crazy racing. Come on boys, this is what we like to see. We're going to stay on board with Nano actually from his cockpit view, because it looks the best view, as Leon looks like he's got the best sort of exit through through the S section there, and I think he's definitely going to have to. Ash is going to defend it as hard as he possibly can. Squeezes him. He's not going to let Nano through as well, is he? As Leon goes wide, but recovers it very nicely and switches around the outside. But look at this from Nano Bacon. He's going to do it. The chicane surely as I've switched off as Ash. Ash, you got to give him more room than that. That's a bit rubbish from Ash, as he nearly goes wide at the final turn. Yeah, you got to leave him a bit more room. Nano had nowhere to go, and luckily Nano backed out, because if he poked his car there, that Williams would be spun around in a circle. So a bit aggressive, a bit too aggressive for my liking with Ash there. As we're going to go back up to Slash, who looks very close to Dino once again. Greeny hanging on in there as well in the Haas. So I think at the moment, I think Lickle and Game Freak are about even. I think considering Game Freak has got no DRS and slipstream, I think Game Freak is maybe a tiny bit faster, but Lickle's hanging on in there, keeping him honest. As we see a yellow flag as Nana Bacon is round, so that is contact with Ash Best, I believe. Any damage for Ash Best? I did miss that, unfortunately, as AMS picks up a 3-second penalty. No damage for Ash Best, but I think Ash needs to really reevaluate his life. Oh, 3 gloves is round. Has he lost it there then? Oh, we're really seeing some action now. I think 3 gloves. There's more yellow flags in Sector 2 and Sector 3. I think it's still for 3 gloves, as Neon, who's made a brilliant recovery from last, is now up to 15th place and will be closing 3 gloves, and will actually be thankful that he has spun, because I think he will get some DRS and may even catch Ash now. So 3 gloves making a huge mistake. It may have been on the back of his teammate, and has gone round there, which is very unfortunate, as Slash has passed Dino as well. So we're really missing the action in chunks. I think Dino will be looking to get that place back, but he's really starting to struggle on these soft tyres now. Really starting to struggle. Obviously, like I said, I think about 6 to 8 is when you really stop, the grip starts to fall off around that sort of time. I imagine you want to take these tyres about 11, 12 laps. As I see Lickle run a tiny bit wide there. Will that open the door for Slash? I'm not too sure. Bugatti also has passed Rafa in the commotion, as Greeny and as Dino's made a mistake actually, and Dino's not just lost 1, not just lost 2, as Bugatti's going to go around the outside of Dino and take him there as well. So Dino's made a mistake on the back straight, and Rafa's gone up the inside as well. That was fantastic racing from Rafa, and Dino has been utterly mugged in the space of 2 corners. So Dino really compromising his own race now, and he's going to have overheated tyres, so he's just got to be careful. Lay off the throttle, lift and coast a bit through here, as he probably picks up a warning for going on the curbs there. But lift and coast, I'd say, Dino, come on, reserve yourself a bit, as 3 gloves is on the back of Ash Best. Will I see a Renault overtake a Williams down the straight? I think we will. Ash Best, is he going to put up a fight? He does go defensive quite early from Ash. We're going to see it from the Ferrari's point of view, but Ash, no, just kind of concedes the position, and then that's it really. Is we're going to see people in the pit lane. A lot of the soft runners in the pit lane want to get a new set of boots on and get out there. Obviously you can see on the left hand side who has pitted. I won't run you through who has pitted for the moment, as we try and stick with the action so far. I'm not too sure if that's the right call, as Dino, I think, has lost a second to Bugatti, and Bugatti on these medium tyres is looking very racy. I think the longer these soft runners stay out for Bugatti, the better. He wants the DRS and he wants the slipstream. So yeah, I think if the longer these guys stay out, as long as they're not too slow, he's really going to be fighting for these podium positions right now. Just going to change the view up as we're scanning through, just to see as obviously the field kind of breaks apart a bit because of the pit stops. They will obviously get closer together when everybody comes into the pit lane once again. As Sam T obviously has pitted for the hards with the damage earlier on in the race, down there in 18th place. Olich and obviously Nana Bacon had a spin, so they're absolutely nowhere. We may see a battle between Leon and CC forming very soon. I will go on board Bugatti just to see if he can get close to Tom AJ. If not, Leon's looking very feisty. Yeah, I don't think Bugatti will have a chance, so let's see if Leon, with not a lot of ERS, it must be said, from Leon in the AlphaTauri, he is going to get close to CC, but I imagine CC, oh no, CC's on the mediums, but I imagine the top guys now will want to pit this lap. Slash will take the lead of the race, as I believe Game Freak is the only one of the soft runners to pit, of my knowledge, and the other soft runners are staying out, as Slash actually sits the fastest lap of the race, so he's definitely not going to be pitting. That is a very good lap from Slash right there. Bugatti has got Tom AJ staying out as well, which is perfect for his race. Bugatti really needs to just keep with him, keeping his DRS, and he should be Gucci. We're going to have a look where Game Freak comes out. He was racing Lickle Blocks coming around the final corner now. I think Game Freak has actually gained time. It looks like he's gained quite a bit of time actually. We're going to see from Lickle's perspective where Game Freaker is. No, he's actually lost out, and I think Lickle will actually take provisional lead of this race. It's quite hard to judge. I thought Game Freaker actually pulled out quite a hefty gap, but you don't realise how slow the pit lane actually is. We will stay on board with these two because I think we're going to see a tussle down down the straight with the DRS. As Nano Bacon sets the fastest lap of the race, so that man's really pushing. I think after making a pit stop as Game Freaker. Oh, Lickle did leave the door open, you know. I think if Game Freaker wanted it enough, he could have popped it up the inside there. But no, not for the moment. As you see, Leon on CC again. Obviously, these guys are all battling for position on the mediums, and the remaining guys on the soft. So if you see, you know, from 11th above, they're the guys that obviously haven't pitted yet and are battling for position. The guys below have obviously pitted and will get provisional positions when everybody else pits. CC is going to let Leon go because he sees Leon is obviously quicker. A Slash peels up into the pit lane, which I think is perfect. He's at the fastest lap of the race, and he should come out right next to these guys on the mediums. Obviously, Game Freak and Lickle battling is going to help him out also. So Drebe, Dino, and Tom AJ will be staying out. Tom AJ is giving Alfie, giving Bugatti a very good chance at the win here. The more he stays out, the more Bugatti is licking his lips. He is just giving this Alfa Romeo slipstream DRS every single lap, which is fantastic. We're just going to go board with Slash actually, just to see where he comes out. I think Lickle and Game Freaker should both nab him here. Lickle's gone past. I don't know what's happened to Game Freaker, whether it's made a mistake. No, Game Freaker's right there. So, Slash in the same position, but in retrospect a lot closer to these guys than he probably would have thought. The fact that he's this close after doing 2 extra laps compared to Lickle is astounding. I think Lickle will be a bit miffed at himself that he could pull a bit bigger of a gap, but then again he is in the worst car on the grid so far. So very intense fixture here at Silverstone. We will try and keep up to date with the close battles, but at the moment I think Leon and Dre are getting close. So we might switch over to them, but I think Lickle will be the cork in the bottle here because Lickle obviously hasn't got DRS. Only by 2/10 to Matt Romano, so we could get it into Maggots and Beckett's, but I don't know if he will or not. As Tom AJ finally pits and relinquishes his position, I think Leon may have a go with Dre here. He's a bit far up the road. We will stay on board with them guys a bit later, as Game Freaker is going to make a move on Lickle blocks down the inside into Stowe. Will Lickle hold it around the outside? He's got a lot of understeer, so just got to be careful that Slash doesn't get a run on him as well. But look at the ERS difference between these guys. Slash is on 85%, and now Matt Romano all over the place. Really doesn't want to concede this position on the mediums, but really struggling that Mercedes, and Game Freaker's going to get him into turn 1. This could end in tears. Matt Romano just moves out the way. Oh, rubbish, rubbish, rubbish. Loses position after position and just moves out the way for everybody. Tom AJ also taking a position who's actually come out very close to these guys as well, and also Greeny is on the back of these guys as well. So this race is very close, and Slash looks all over the back of Lickle blocks, and he's got ERS for days. So this that's a rubbish camera angle. Give me something better. Come on, these are poo. Give me something good as Lickle actually runs wide. Will Slash try and go around the outside of the Alfa Romeo driver? No, he won't. He will sit behind for now. It's good defending as Game Freaker looks to go wide as well. As we come onto the old start finish straight into Cops once again for the 12th time of this race, or the 11th time, I don't know how many times. You start on lap 1, so yeah, 11th I guess. I don't know, my head's gone, my head's gone, my head's gone. But Lickle sticking very close to Game Freaker through the S section. Game Freaker good traction though on the exit, and will I think concede the position to Lickle as he goes one way and goes the other. Very aggressive from these guys here. Game Freaker. Oh, Lickle's gave him a bit too much respect. Game Freaker's going to stick his nose back down the inside there, and this is a brilliant battle for the leaders. We see some of the leaders pitting Dino onto the mediums as well as Dre, but I don't think these guys will be anywhere near the top runners so far. But the more these guys battle, the more they're allowing Greeny and Tom AJ to come into the fray as well. Yeah, these guys are long way down. Yeah, they've completely messed up their strategy. Don't know why they pitted so late there behind like the likes of AMS. It's just too late. They've lost loads of grip on the softs, and obviously consequently lost loads of positions as well, as Slash gets a brilliant exit out of here, and I think Slash will be wanting second place for his own. Game Freaker's got nothing to defend with it down the straight. It's going to be easy. It could be 2 in 1 for Slash. Here he comes. Oh, he thought about it. He thought, but Game Freaker around the outside again. Oh my god, that's brilliant. Brilliant from Game Freaker to maintain second position. Took the opportunity of Slash having a narrow angle coming down the straight and really taking it and running with it, Game Freaker, and wow, that is brilliant. But Slash does look the quickest guy out there at the moment. I think wants to clear these guys. He's using ERS as best he can to try and disrupt these guys. But like I say, the more they battle, the more Greeny LFC's licking his lips. Finally, he's finest down there in P10 at the moment, but he's looking at this battle and he's rubbing his hands together. I don't know what you're thinking he's rubbing. That's disgusting. But Liquor Blocks gives Game Freak the slipstream, but Slash is going to breeze past. He actually nearly hits the Alfa Romeo. He had so much overspeed there, and Greeny is absolutely loving it. He's seeing his rivals right now compromising themselves and allowing him to get so close. Greeny may even be having a look at the likes of Game Freaker. Silverstone really putting a spanner in the works, and Tom AJ is now in the fray as well. Everybody involved in this race is really putting in a shift, and it's fantastic to see a lot of you guys still around, as Rapper may challenge AMS down the straight, but this is the battle of the ages. We're going to go as Dina picks up another penalty. I don't think any of these guys have picked up a penalty yet, so penalties could play a massive part, as I believe in the next 4 to 5 laps you're going to see some of these medium runners come into the pit lane. I think everybody's saying single file down the straight as your provisional leader Lickle Blocks is taking us around the track, as Drebe and Cetos Demon are battling, but we will stay on board with these guys, as I believe Lickle has had the go ahead now to get a move on. Duo Finn's actually giving him some slipstream and maybe even some DRS if he can get closer to the Duo Finn. So Lickle really wants to bolt away from these guys now. We're just going to change the interval to the leader. To the pit lane, I believe, is 30 seconds. So Bugatti, if he pulls, he can pull a few more seconds. I don't know, don't quote me if I'm wrong, I do believe it is 30 seconds. It may be less. But Bugatti's going to be right in the mix of this, you know, and he's going to be on the softs as well. So Bugatti's really done a fantastic strategy. Obviously, Duo Finn allowing Lickle to, you know, catch the gap back up. But it's going to be an Alfa Romeo and an Alfa Tauri scrap, I think, as well. Game Freaker just not looking like he's got the pace compared to these guys, as Duo Finn is going to back everybody up again. As you're going to see the likes of AMS and maybe even Rafa joining the likes of this train if Duo Finn holds everybody up too much. We're going to stay on board with Slash, though. The broadcast cameras, they're not really very helpful. Like, some of them are quite flashy and nice, but like, what does that camera show me? Like, I can't see the guys behind if they're trying to make a move or not. I can't see the guys in front. I've just got a side view of an Alfa Tauri. Like, come on, get your act together. I don't want to see this. I want to see some action. That's what I want to see. See, I've missed that now. It's going to be 3 abreast as we come to here. Is Lickle going to keep? He's going to keep provisional lead. Slash is trying his best. He tried to use Duo Finn. It was nearly fucking Zonta, Hakkinen and Schumacher at Belgium there. You know, trying to use some of the back markers, as Slash has actually ran a bit wide, trying to keep with Lickle Blocks there. But he's got to be careful because he's running out of ERS now, and Lickle is now on the same ERS. So Lickle playing a very intelligent game. The man who said he's washed, the man who said he needs to retire, is actually putting in a shift on this game at the moment, and looks to be taking the race win. But these guys have lost a bit of time. It's nearly at 27 seconds, as obviously Duo Finn's holding everybody up. I think Greeny LFC with his lack of errs, but he's going to give it a good go to try and catch these guys. Tom AJ's got DRS. I think AMS needs to push a bit more as well, see if he can catch. As Greeny might have a go on Game Freaker into the chicane. It's going to be one of his only opportunities to get him if he tries, but no, decides against it, as Duo Finn's going to really hold these guys up. It could be the break that the top guys wanted. Duo Finn, the cork in the bottle, as Game Freaker's going for a ballsy move down the inside. There's no way that's going to work. Game Freaker's going to go down the, oh, there's contact, and it's going to allow Greeny round the outside of turn 2 and then the inside of turn 3 to take Duo Finn as well. Will Tom AJ attack these guys as well? Maybe down the straight. Duo Finn all over the place, been rattled. Game Freaker's ran wide also, and it's allowed the front runners a bit of space to come back at it. And look at Greeny, he hasn't got DRS. Game Freaker hasn't got DRS, and this could be the moment. Greeny LFC takes a provisional podium. He's going to get some lovely overspeed, and it's actually contact between the two, as Game Freaker's going to run wide. Also, will Greeny get even more speed? No, loses the traction on the outside, as Duo Finn, I believe, has spun. So Duo spin back at it again in the gravel, as we're seeing some brilliant racing here at Silverstone. My vocal cords are really dying as Greeny suffers downforce reduction due to the dirty air through cops. And he's going to have to settle for sticking behind Game Freak. I don't think he'll have another run at him. Yeah, he's lost a lot of time. as Lickle. He's not going to go defensive, but Slash isn't going to make a move into Stoke. So these guys now, we've got Leon and Three Gloves in the pit lane. These guys should have definitely come out behind the front runners. These guys, especially the top two. Game Freaker now needs to put in a shift, try and get this gap back down. As you see the intervals between one another, yep, all these guys falling away. Yeah, they're miles away, absolutely miles away from these guys. Bugatti you want to look out for. He's going to be the only one of the medium runners to really challenge, as Game Freaker, oh, he's 2/10 away from getting that DRS, and it's an uphill climb when you haven't got that DRS. You've got to keep pushing, because the likes of Tom AJ, who's actually taken Greeny, I completely missed that in all the commotion, is going to start coming as well. I think Rafa is getting a bit impatient with Ashbest as well, with AMS as well. So I think Rafa really does need to dispatch the McLaren, only unless AMS can catch these guys. He's got a 10th to pull, so he can get in the DRS, but this Silverstone race is one for the ages at the moment. We've got 8 seconds, 10 seconds, 7 seconds. So Bugatti is in a brilliant position if he can get in the pit lane, maybe this lap or next lap, to put on a set of softs. I think he wants to go maybe 2 more laps. Lickle's actually made a mistake onto the back straight. That's going to allow Slash to easily pass. Yeah, look at that. It should be very straightforward for Slash there. As Tom AJ, I don't think Tom AJ will make a move. He is going to make a move, Tom AJ, actually, and he's going to go down the inside into Stoke, and a very easy move on Game Freaker right there. So fantastic racing from these guys, nice and clean, nice and fair. And back to the racing, as we're going to see Leon Bentley actually very close, going to go around the outside of I think that's Duofin. It's Duofin. It's going to be 3 abreast. It's going to be 3 abreast. Duofin's going to stick it in there. Oh my God, Three Gloves going to go around the outside of Duofin. Has Duofin been mugged even more? Duofin, he's got nothing to answer with, and look at that from Neon. Neon around the outside as well. Oh my God, it's all kicking off as people are in the pit lane. Bugatti's actually rejoined in 5th place on a set of softs. This is brilliant for Bugatti. He needs to clear these guys very quickly though, as Neon picks up a penalty. Oh my God, there's commotion everywhere. I don't know what to do with myself. Bugatti really does need to dispatch Game Freaker. He's going to go down the inside. Is he going to get it stopped? Brilliant. Fine, that's aggressive, and that's what you like. It's clean aggression. It's pure clean aggression from Bugatti. He's going to have so much more grip than these guys on the medium tyres. If he can dispatch Tom AJ, then he's going to be in the shout with the win here. Oh my God, this race is heating up to be one of the greatest Silverstone races I have ever witnessed here in FP. There's action all over the place. I cannot even keep up with it. As we're going to see the likes of AMS, he's going to challenge Greeny, who seems to be slipping away from the front runners. That Haas just seems to have given up on him. As you see through Maggots and Beckers, oh, AMS. Oh, his heart nearly stopped. I know mine did, but here he goes now. AMS should go down the inside as we're going to go on board with Bugatti. Actually, he's going to get the job done on Tom AJ. So Bugatti is in the hot seat. Can he pull the 0.4 of a second needed in the final 2 sectors to get? Will Tom AJ have a go at him? No, that would have been stupid. And Rafa's now going to challenge Greeny into the chicane. Oh, Greeny, very good defence there. There's Drebe picks up a 3-second time penalty. As Drebe is actually catching. Oh, there's actually contact between him and Leon Bentley. So Drebe, with his laggy internet in a different continent, is really obviously British servers, not mainly, and he's in Canada, I believe. So you know, in a different continent altogether, is really, really not helping the guys around him with his laggy car. But anyway. There is battles all over the shop. Bugatti has not pulled the second that he needs. Sorry, he's not pulled the 0.4 that he needs, but he is gaining, and he has set the fastest first sector. And I believe it's only a matter of time for these guys in front. Is it going to be Bugatti again? He did the double-double. He's known as the double-double. There's Leon and Drebe are going side by side as well. And I think Leon has finally dispatched that man there, as Three Gloves is right on the back of these guys as well. So yeah, crazy scenes here at the British Grand Prix. Rafa all over the back of Greeny, and I believe Bugatti is within that time frame. He is. He's got DRS and he's got the slipstream. Bugatti with the purple middle sector of the race. He could take fastest lap as well, as CC Brain picks up a penalty. Bugatti doesn't get penalties. He's one of the cleanest drivers for track limits that I have ever seen, as Rafa finally dispatches Greeny into Stoke. As we're going to see Three Gloves, actually. Three Gloves going to go round the outside. I'm glad I caught that on camera. The teammates in the Renault. Obviously not teammates in FP. You know, the team that you're in is different to the cars that are allocated. Obviously it's based on pace, not on teammates. And is Drebe going to have another jab back at him? No. He's not, and we're going to go back up to the front because there's 0.4 of a second separating these guys. And Lickle, he may get up and undered by his teammate. That's going to be a move for the ages. Don't be silly, boys. You've got a podium on the cards here. As Licklebox is going to defend for his life. He knows he's got to keep the position. Will he turn in on his bestie? No, he will not, but he's going to keep it. He's going to keep his nose in Bugatti. Surely has the traction round the outside, and it's going to be done and dusted. I think the two besties going side by side, loving each other. It's like a cuddle on the racetrack. But no, Bugatti has finally dispatched Lickleblocks, and it's going to get after Slash, and it could be one of the greatest performances in a Silverstone Grand Prix I've ever seen, doing the alternate strategy from outside the top 10. Bugatti is now in second position and looks to be taking driver of the day if he keeps this up. He's going to use every ounce of his nous. And will he go down the inside of Stowe? That is brave. That is very brave from Bugatti, but he's got the traction. Slash has actually had to go wide. And Slash, will he challenge him into the chicane? But I don't think he's got the grip, and Bugatti takes the lead of the British Grand Prix. And look at this scrapping now. Tom AJ is going to join the fight. Game Freak is going to join the fight. Get them all in. We want to see a finale for the final 6 laps of the British Grand Prix, and we are seeing fantastic racecraft, fantastic performances during this race. It has been brilliant to watch. It's been a fantastic return for me in comms, and AMS needs to get a shift on if he wants to catch the top 5 and potentially pick up the pieces for a podium, as we're going to see Lickle. He's not going to challenge Slash down the straight, but you know, these softs do die pretty quickly. Bugatti has not been on the softs for 2 laps, I don't think. Yeah, I think the timings are messed up again. I think he's been on for about 5, 6. No, he may have been on for 2 laps. Oh, I'm not sure. The timings are messing me up. But if he has been on them for 2 laps, then he should easily run away with this race. I know it's not easy to break slipstream and DRS, and everybody's got no ERS. Look at this, 11%, 10%. Tom AJ's got some reserve, so Lickleblocks is going to have to watch behind him. If Tom AJ carries on, I might use some overtake down the straight, Tom, just to get a bit closer to these guys. Game Freaker does have DRS for the moment. AMS definitely doesn't have DRS, but Game Freaker, if he wants a chance at the podium, he really does need to start getting a move on now. But look at this, Tom AJ's caught the battle. Bugatti should pull away. In hindsight, the softs are quick enough at this stage of the race to pull away. He needs to invest a bit of ERS and start pulling away. He's got 0.7 of a second. If he can get it, then he's won the race. But at the moment, it's all to play for, because them softs will die and these mediums will come to play again. You know, the mediums have a second wind around Silverstone. They don't really drop off. You know, it's just the fastest tyre possible to go the distance that the softs can't do. So, you know, the mediums are very, very good. You can take these mediums, you know, maybe even 20 laps. They're that good around here. But yeah, very interesting race so far. The top 4 separated by about 2 seconds. That is what you want to see. 0.6 apiece between these guys, and Tom AJ, it has to be said, looks the fastest out of these medium runners. Bugatti really trying to wrench the gap out, but I think Slash is aware to it. He doesn't really have the ERS to play with, but he's keeping it nice and smooth and neat, especially through the middle sector. He actually should gain time on Bugatti, because obviously Bugatti is on a pad, so it is a bit more difficult, and he has gained a 10th, and I think Bugatti's just got to manage his ERS now, as we're going to go down to 3 gloves, because he's right on the back of CC, and we've got battles all over the place. That's a good camera angle. That's what I want to see more, because I can see the battle here. As will there be a move here? I think there might be a double move. We're going to go back to this view. As you see, CC Brain Dino's going to go up the inside of Greeny. Greeny's going to do the switch back and CC, and oh, this rubbing is racing. And look at this, his 3 gloves going to have a move, and then these guys 3 gloves going to go around the outside of CC maybe. CC nearly collects his teammate as Dino pulls off one of the overtakes of the century, as Green's actually going to go on the inside into the final corner, and they've made contact in the final corner, and Dino gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. The admin not pulling any punches here at Silverstone, as CC will probably get team orders from Greeny. Don't pass. Greeny will not be wanting his teammate to come past, but if I'm CC Brain, you've got to go for it. And speaking of going for it, Leon Bentley's come from absolutely nowhere. Where has he been? Oh my god, it's crazy Welcome to the house of fun here at Silverstone. And oh no, Three Gloves don't make it. He's going to make it and he's going to push CC wide. No, CC hangs on in there. Leon takes 2 drivers in 2 corners and a straight. And oh, CC, will he push the Renault wide? No, he respects him and gives him room, which is the right thing to do. But I don't think Three Gloves is going to take that line down. We've got battles all over the place. As Lickle seems to have dropped a second to Slash. So we're going to stay on board with these guys because it's absolutely mental. Oh my days, it's absolutely mental here at Silverstone on a Tuesday night. I never thought I'd get this excited. Oh my days, this is better than the Champions League final that happened the other night. This is brilliant as Three Gloves is going to have a move on CC Brain. Will he finally get it done? Greeny goes defensive on Leon Bentley as well. Three Gloves, CC Brain still there, but does have a snap of oversteer as we're going to see Leon go around the outside of Greeny. Greeny's got to give him room. Greeny's got to give him room. He does. Very respectful, but Three Gloves is still there on the inside. CC could get pushed off here, but Three Gloves looks like he's made a mistake, and CC will retain that position. And oh my God, my brain, it can't handle what's going on. As you see Neon in the pit lane, as these guys get ever closer to the guys ahead, and I believe CC is finally been released by Greeny, but Greeny's got Three Gloves all over him, and Three Gloves is going to take Greeny down the straight, and it looks like the other Renault's come into play. Greeny may even go around the outside. Three Gloves down the straight, he's got the DRS and he's got the ERS, but Greeny LFC is having a miserable afternoon. He's been one of the drivers who has been mugged off. And look, we're going to go further behind to the likes of Dre Bay, who's come into contention now. Dre Bay, he's in contention as Little Blocks fends off the likes. As Slash looks like he's actually coming back at Bugatti. Yeah, I told you the mediums have a second wind. I told you, and Bugatti looks like he may have overcooked these soft tyres. And I think Slash may take the lead of the race. I'm not too sure. He's not using any overtake, so he might be saving the overtake for the last lap dash. But it's going to be between Slash and Bugatti for the race win. It's going to be between Tom, AJ and Lickle Blocks for the victory. For third, for the podium, sorry, for the last place on the podium. And it's going to be these absolute meatheads down here. I mean, an absolute brawl. And hopefully they can sort the differences out and try and get past each other cleanly and respectfully. Nah, I'm joking. Do it as dirty as you like. I want to see some action. But yeah, it looks like Three Gloves and Leon and CC all dispatching the medium runners that was clearly holding them up. But look at the speed of Three Gloves. He's got so much overspeed compared to CC. He's going to get it done at turn 3. Go on, Three Gloves. He's used a bit of overtake. He's going to go down the inside. Not the best line through there, must be said. You can't really sweep around the outside, but he's an old boy. And an old boy can't be taught new tricks. And CC squeezed him and it was nearly ended in carnage. But CC's got nothing left in the house. And I think he's going to allow Three Gloves to pass and maybe sit behind him for the next couple of laps as Greeny is going to close back up to these guys once again to try and have a pop, maybe get some points on the board. But Greeny really got no pace on these mediums, all over the place at the moment. We're gonna scroll back up to the top, guys. Will Slash have a go? No, he's doing it, but Bugatti's aware to it. See, Bugatti's got brains. He knows that he doesn't need to defend. He's doing the same strategy as Slash, saving his ERS, not using overtake. They're on the same percent roughly. You know, I know DRS and slipstream give you an edge, but if a guy can get a good exit out of these corners, he can nullify that sort of, you know, boost that he gets as Three Gloves makes a move on Leon. I don't think Leon will be very happy about that. Will Leon fight back? Definitely not in this last sector. No, not at all. As Nanobacon on Olich, I think that's going to be an overtake. As poor old Nanobacon absolutely nowhere, and poor old Neon, who's pitted twice in the Silverstone race, being a bit effed up at the start, has now dropped down as Nanobacon doesn't overtake his teammate. So yeah, they're going to stay the same. Maybe soon enough they'll overtake. Still no movement at the front on the penultimate lap. We're gonna see Drebe from absolutely miles away go on Greeny, and look at that. Greeny's turned in and realised that there's a Renault on his inside. Greeny is not going to like that one bit. He's double upshifted to get the traction. That's going to be a spin. Oh, Greeny did well to catch that. Greeny did extremely well to catch the rear there. And will he challenge Drebe up the inside? No, he's more intelligent than that. But oh, there's been a crash. Who's crashed? I'm not too sure. There's yellow flags. There's yellow flags somewhere. I'm not too sure. Maybe it's just someone ran wide and the game's tricking me. But Greeny tried to make a move. It's not going to stick. Dino's going to go defensive to try and preserve his 8th position. I thought Dino could have the race win earlier in the season. Earlier in the season, bloody hell. Earlier in the race. But he's having to defend. But it's going to be a last lap dash now, boys. It's going to be a last lap dash. As the man who looks to be getting driver of the day is going to be one of these two. I will give driver of the day to one of these two. Whoever wins this Grand Prix, these guys have been sensational. Slash as well. Oh, he's messed it up on the first DRS straight, but that's fine, that's fine. He's got time, he's got a second DRS straight to try and recuperate. There's yellow flags in sector 2, it's the guys at the back, it doesn't matter. As Tom AJ as well, alert to the situation. Liquorblocks is going to have to defend for his life to try and keep that man behind him. But we're going to go on board with Slash. For the final straight at least, we're going to go on board with Slash. I'm sorry about the overtakes happening behind, but it's between the top 2 and the top 3. Top 2 and 3rd and 4th as well. That's who I'm going to be watching, as Tom AJ is all over the back of Lickle. But, you know, Slash is all over the back of Bugatti as well, so it's going to be a very interesting finale to this race. Has Bugatti got anything left in him? There's not a lot of ERS left with both of them, but it looks like he's got the straight line speed. Slash is going to have to go for it. If not here, he's going to have to do it at the chicane. Bugatti defends brilliantly, but gets kind of a slow entry. Will he get the fast exit? Oh, I'm not too sure. Slash is using everything at his disposal. He threw everything at him, but Bugatti has triumphed here at Silverstone. It's going to be a home victory from the man from wherever in Yorkshire. Bugatti crosses the line to win, and Lickleblocks has lost it. Lickleblocks has lost it on the final chicane. At the 4th place, we're going to scan through the grid to see if there's any more action anywhere out on the track. But what a finish to this British Grand Prix. They threw everything at Bugatti at the final part of this race, but he triumphs, and he will be driver of the day for me. Fantastic result from the man from Yorkshire, or roughly up there somewhere in Yorkshire anyway. The man, sorry, the boy who has come through the ranks of PSGL, used to be a pleb, but retains his status as one of the greatest FP drivers to grace the site. The man, the double triumph, not 1 championship but 2 championships under his belt in the same season. The man who beat Lickleblocks to a title, he beat Ash Best to a title, he's beat Greeny LFC to a title, back on pole, not back on pole, back on the top step of the podium, I should say, with Bugatti. What an epic finish. And Tom AJ at the final corner beats Lickleblocks by 7/100ths of a second. That is a finale of the race you want to see. Wow. Wow indeed. That is crazy. We will driver of the day, Leon Bentley. No chance. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. Driver of the day, Bugatti. And in close second, Slash. I've lost my head. You know, it was a brilliant race. I was caught up in all the excitement. I've completely forgotten about the podium questions I'm going to be asking these guys. So, yeah, if you've got any questions in the chat that you want to ask some of these guys, I'll do a bit of an interview with them. But here is your classification. We'll run through it very quickly. We've got Bugatti taking a fantastic first place from 11th on the grid in the alternate strategy, and I believe the fastest lap of the race as well. We've got Slash, a brilliant performance from him. He'd be gutted he couldn't get first place, but very quick. Tom AJ out of nowhere proved us all wrong, and he did have pace in that car, and managed to beat Lickle, who just missed out from pole on a podium. Game Freak has slipped away in the latter stages, but did a very good job indeed to come back to 5th. AMS penalties, not too good from him, but less again, he's still 6th place. Leon Bentley with no penalties, fantastic job. Rafa in 8th, 3 Gloves in 9th, and CC Brain rounds off the top 10. I believe Greeny's actually spun. Yeah, Greeny dropped down even behind Dre Bay. Look at all them penalties for these guys. But anyway, we will get these guys on board for podium interviews. Wow, I think just to catch my breath. Wow, That's incredible. Incredible scenes at Silverstone. And congratulations to the top. I'm going to say congratulations to the top 10, because it's not every day you get a race like that. That is brilliant from everybody on the grid. There was a few incidents here and there, maybe some questionable driving, but it was brilliant. You've just got to give them all a round of applause, especially the top 10 who finished in the points. It was sensational. Just bear with me, guys, as I do the podium interviews. Thank you for sticking around and from contributing to these races. It has been an enlightening experience. Just trying to see if everybody is online, but we'll get that man in. Actually, we get 4th place Lickle. I think he's online. He'll come in. We've got Tom AJ, haven't we, as well? Tom AJ. They all appear offline. It makes it so difficult to try and find these guys for podium interviews. I'm trying to find them actually, and I'm struggling so far. I am struggling to find these guys. We will just bear with 1 second while I scroll through my massive friends list and try and find these guys. Where's Tom AJ at? Come on, Thomas, where are you at? For whatever reason, I'm struggling to find everybody. We will. I don't know what's happened. I don't know why I can't see no one on my list. Where the blooming are they? I think what we'll do is we'll do. Does help, as we are joined with second place Slash. We'll get to the questions in a second, my friend. Just to I've got one more driver to invite. We've got Tom AJ with us, and the one guy who I spend most of my time with is not here. Wow, really messing it up, as we are joined with Tom AJ also. If you do have Bugatti on your friends list, try and invite him while I answer a few questions. I can't find him. Just can't. My eyes are just broken. Don't know what's going on. But anyway, we'll kick it off without him. Right, we will start with Tom. You were 3rd place in that race. Brilliant performance, by the way. Congratulations to everybody involved. Just give us your, first of all, just give us your opinions and emotions on the race, and try and describe to the viewers out there how difficult it was to keep with some of them guys, because it did look like you did struggle at the start, but you seemed to really claw it back in the end. Yeah, like you say, it was one of the greatest races at Silverstone I've ever seen. I've had a lot of criticism, not personally, but of the game for lack of wheel-to-wheel racing. But I tell you what, it's a big improvement on last game. I'll just move on to Slash as well. Just explain to everybody how difficult it was to stick with Bugatti on the alternate strategy. It wasn't the softs on the final stint, but you had a lot of pace in that AlphaTauri. Just to describe to everybody watching the stream how difficult it was to keep it within that 1 second and in the dirty air of the man in front.
Yeah, it was really, I didn't expect to even keep up with it. I thought when it overtook me, I thought that's it, 2nd place is defunct, or battling for 2nd. And after that I kept on getting every single 9/10s, 8/10s just behind him, and then he was pulling me along with him, and I was getting away from, I think it was Lickle Box.
Yeah, it was Lickle Blocks, yeah.
And then after that, the last 3 laps, I felt like that there was an opportunity to overtake, but I didn't have any straight line speed. I was lacking for the whole race.
Why were you lacking straight line speed? Was it just the setup itself, or do you think the AlphaTauri just lacked an extra horsepower compared to the other cars? Or?
I think it was the setup, because I put the same setup as I did to my other league race yesterday at this track. I didn't realise how slow the AlphaTauri would be realistic.
Yeah, well, like you say, you put in an absolute shift out there, and it was commiserations to obviously not get P1 because it was a brilliant drive. You showed the edge to the likes of Lickle Blocks and Game Freaker, who were hounding you, especially in the first stint. They were really keeping with you and keeping you on your toes. So brilliant to keep that second place. Just moving back to Tom as well. Obviously, you started a bit further down the grid, Tom. So you were in that sort of midfield sort of pack. And that's the danger zone, a lot of people say. You know, you don't really want to be involved in that midfield. There's a lot of quick guys out there, but it can get a bit, you know, claustrophobic and people really going for moves that they shouldn't do. But you really kept your head and got your head down and did a fantastic performance to come through. Was the strategy, you know, from qualifying, it obviously did start wet, but was the strategy always to go soft medium, or did you have that sort of in the back of your mind to go medium soft, or? Yeah, like you say, FP especially, you know, with the mixed bag of sort of, I don't want to say talent because it's not talent, but, you know, mixed bag of sort of, you know, speed and performance of everybody, it can really shake things up. And that's a prime example of what we want to see as viewers. And especially from my point of view, you know, everybody seemed to have a chance. There wasn't really a moment in there I thought nobody couldn't have won that race. You know, the top 10 in quali was separated by less than a second, I believe, and, you know, in the race the top 10 was separated by 5 seconds at one point, and it was just so close. And it was only the cars, you know, the cars sort of let a few people down. I remember Greeny was up there in 6th place, and then he sort of like dropped and ended up in 15th because the Haas just let him down on the tyres. And, you know, it was such a complex sort of race. You know, really had to think, and very a race of attrition. But yeah, like I say again, another congratulations to you guys. I'll try and get Bugatti in for a bit of talking to maybe when you guys leave. But just and oh, you are here. You did join. I didn't even realise. Well, you could have said something. But anyway, well, we do have Bugatti here, so let's just get straight into it. Congratulations, obviously P1, fantastic. You did the alternate strategy. Very, very difficult strategy to pull off, and I think Tom, you might have to thank Tom because he did help you in the latter stages of that strategy, because he didn't pit early as everybody else and gave you that slipstream and DRS to kind of, you know, keep the momentum going. So was it always the plan? Was it always the plan, Alfie, to go on the strategy, or the pace wasn't there in quali? If you're Matt Romano. Fifth.
As possible.
Yeah, you can't really get much smaller than that. I think shout out goes to Tom and Lickle, who cut it even closer. Lickle was half a car next to Tom on the final couple of corners, and was one of the greatest finishes I've ever seen. Unfortunately for Lickle, he started on pole and just seemed to drop off. The first stint he seemed very, very quick on them softs, but just on the mediums he never felt comfortable enough. Like Slash always had that extra sort of pace. Tom came from further behind. You know, he was behind Game Freaker at one point, and Game Freaker looked like he dropped off as well. So maybe overheating really came into clutch for some of you guys. But, you know, just from your perspective, Gay, how was it kind of, you know, slicing through the field? It's not an easy feat, especially in the FP cars, to really get in and get past these drivers. You know, some of them are aggressive. So did you find that difficult, or was it pretty straightforward?
Well, obviously the start, it's just find any positions you can, and I gained like 4 positions, that was good. And yeah, on the softs it's just kind of look on for you, isn't it? Well, it was, I won't say easy, but it was easy.
Well, last question for yourself before I open it up to everyone. Did you expect Slash to be so close to you at the end of the race?
No, to be fair, I thought I'd pull away, but after I gave it like 2 or 3 goes at pulling away, and I got the gap, I said to like 9/10. But then, obviously the DRS was just so good, you shot straight back up to the back of me, so I gave up and just decided to go to the end with him on my tail.
Well, it's a brilliant race and it's one of the best races, like I said before, I've commentated on, so thank you guys. Thank you to the top 10. I said it earlier in the race because the top 10 were brilliant, and some guys who fell just outside of the points because it was one of the best races. Last question to you all. We'll start from Tom and then second Slash and then you, Bugatti. Spain is the next round, round 4. What's your thoughts on that? Well, give us your thoughts anyway on Spain. Either if you're here or not is Greeny's decision, I guess. Right, not expecting much from Tom. Slash, you got any high hopes for Spain?
Similar to Tom was said earlier, he said, sector 3, if you're in the pads, just abysmal, really horrible. I don't know if I'm going to be racing next week or not, but if I am, hopefully I want to be in the sort of same place as today.
Well, yeah, I think that's definitely a market for yourself, you know, to get you guys in the league, you know, a podium for you guys. And a lot of people have missed out on FP, but if you want to put yourself on the market, you no better way than doing it. But yeah, Bugatti, your thoughts on Spain? Any high hopes? I know you're on a pad as well, so maybe a bit tricky.
I'm probably going to get a hat because I've won today, so that's probably going to be the main hindrance. It's going to be the car over the equipment, so I'll have to see what the hat is like, but hopefully I can do well and ignite my title defence.
Yeah, I do agree. It's taking you a bit of time to get to grips with getting back to winning ways, but you've finally done it. So once again, congratulations to everybody involved in today's race. Fantastic race, and also congratulations to the top 3. Hopefully I should be back from next week, only unless something drastically happens again. But yeah, join me next week, 8 PM, Tuesday night, for the Spanish Grand Prix, and hopefully we'll see some familiar faces or even some brand new faces on the podium. But I've been Lordy-MK, and I'll see you in a bit.